Hello, scholars. I'm so glad that you joined me to learn all about our new artist today. Today, we are going to be learning about the painter and muralist Diego Rivera. Can we try saying his name all together? Diego Rivera. One more time in case you didn't catch it. Diego Rivera. Good job, scholars. So, Diego Rivera, he is very, very famous. He is a painter and muralist from Mexico. And some of us might even remember him because of the lady who is standing right here, or actually sitting right here next to him in this picture. So this lady right here was his wife. His wife was Frida Kahlo, like we learned way, way back in the beginning of the year. And Diego was her husband. So he was a very, very famous painter and muralist first. And that was because Frida was so much younger than him. So he was already doing his artworks and he was already famous before she started working. So today we're going to talk about all the paintings and murals that made Diego really, really famous. Plus, we're going to get to know him and his art journey. So let's get started. So, scholars, Diego Rivera was born in 1886. That makes him a little bit younger than Vincent van Gogh. We just finished learning about Vincent van Gogh last week, and if you remember, Vincent van Gogh was not from the United States, and neither is Diego. Diego is from a place called Guanajuato in Mexico, and he grew up loving to draw and make art as a little kid. That is also something different than Van Gogh, because Vincent van Gogh didn't know that he wanted to be an artist until he was already an adult. So for Diego to be making artwork and drawing as a little kid means that he always knew that art was his passion. So then, because he was creating art so much and loved it so much, he, when he was 10 years old, went to study art at an art academy in Mexico City. Mexico City is in a different state than Guanajuato, so he actually had to move away from his family to be able to study art. So now let's take a look at these photos of him. This is him when he's an adult. It's not when he's a little kid. It's very hard to find pictures of him when he was a little kid because he was born a very long time ago. But you can see in all of these paintings, or sorry, in all of these photos, that he's got his paintbrushes. He's working very, very hard, and he's working on something called murals. We're going to talk about murals a little bit later, but now let's start looking at Diego Rivera's artwork. So, scholars, the three paintings that you see here, this is 1, 2, and 3, are some of Diego Rivera's most popular paintings. Now, with these paintings, we've seen them probably already in our regular lives. They have become so popular that people recreated them, and they've just been around since Diego made them. So they're not just one painting that's living in a museum and is hard to see, but people actually made them again so that we could have them in places like our homes or as decorations. So if you've already seen these paintings, that's awesome. Now you know who the painter was. If you look down at these names of the paintings, you'll see that they all have the name flower in them. This first one was called Flower Vendor, the second one is Flower Seller, and the last one is called Flower Carrier. And there's even more paintings with these big white lilies and all of these Native American people. I just couldn't put them all in this slideshow, but if you want to look at the flower series by Diego Rivera, it's got so many more beautiful paintings that have these people and more beautiful flowers in them. So with these paintings, Diego really wanted to highlight um, the Native American people in Mexico and how hard they had to work and how beautiful their work was. So you'll see that this man, he's on his knees, he's carrying so many flowers, and Diego just wanted to show this man some love and show everybody how much they should appreciate the hardworking people that give them these wonderful flowers. The same thing with these lovely ladies here. You can see that everyone is working so hard. This little boy is also on his knees and he's helping wrap all of these beautiful white lilies. So Diego really likes to show off how hard people are working so that we can have beautiful things like flowers and other things in our lives. So now let's start looking at his murals and kind of the differences that they have in them. So, scholars, before we actually look at some of Diego's murals, I want to be sure that everybody here knows what a mural is. Usually, if you live in Shafter or Wasco or Bakersfield, you've probably already seen a mural, but maybe you didn't know what it was called. So, I want everyone on the count of three to say the word mural with me. Ready? One, two, three. Mural. Good job, scholars. So, a mural is a giant, like a huge painting, and they take up entire walls. So that means all the way from one corner of your wall at the very top, all the way to the lowest corner of a wall. And usually murals are outside, like this one that's in Shafter. This is outside. And then the other one that I have a picture of is one from Wasco. It's also outside, but murals can also be inside. The main thing about murals is that they take up entire walls. So, if you've never seen these murals, you can take a quick drive through Shafter downtown. There's a few murals. I know Wasco has quite a few murals too. And if you live in Bakersfield, there are murals in downtown Bakersfield, and you'll just see them all over. So, if you ever spot an entire wall that is just full of art from one corner to the other, like these, you know that they are murals. So now let's look at some of Diego's murals and how he filled them up with all sorts of fun stuff. So, scholars, if you take a look at this big picture on our slide, this is one of the murals that Diego Rivera made. He's made tons of murals in his life, and you know that it's a mural because it is stretching all the way from one side of a wall down to the bottom. This is actually an inside mural. It's an indoor mural because it's you can see that the ceiling is all the way up here where his mural ends. This one, I believe, is actually in San Francisco. He has a lot of murals out in San Francisco. He has some in Los Angeles. He has some in Mexico City. Actually, I think Mexico City has the most murals from him, but he's basically got them all over the world. And they're all in public buildings. So it's not like at anybody's house where you're never going to see it. They're in public buildings, meaning that they're open to anybody who drives by or walks by or goes into those buildings. So now, scholars, I want to take a closer look at all of the things that are going on in this mural. You can see that Diego Rivera really liked to draw people. You can see that he liked to draw people at their jobs, maybe. Maybe they were fighting for something they wanted. Maybe they have different backgrounds, but he's really into drawing or painting, I should say, as many people crowded into these murals as he can. And can you imagine painting all those people that big? Murals definitely take a whole lot of hard work, but in the end, you get this huge piece of beautiful art. So now, scholars, if we take a look at this mural and we compare it to the mural that's in San Francisco, we can find some differences, but also a couple of ways of how they're the same. I think the biggest way that they're different is that this mural is not so crowded. The last mural that we saw, the one that's in San Francisco, it was busting at the seams with people and them doing their jobs and different places. This one is not so busy, but it does have a lot of the same people. So Diego liked to focus on people that were indigenous. Can we try saying the word indigenous? Good job, scholars. Indigenous sounds like a really big, hard word, but it's actually not. Indigenous is just another way that we can say Native American. And Diego really liked to focus on Native American people because they worked so hard and brought his home country of Mexico so many beautiful things. So we know that the people in his murals are indigenous because of the types of clothes they wear, because of the scenery that's around them, so like their backgrounds. Well, we can also tell because they've got these specific jobs that indigenous people would usually do. And we know that he likes to focus on Indigenous people because they show up in almost every mural that he makes. So he really likes to give them some love and show the world how we should be appreciating everything that they gave us. So now let's keep going. All right, scholars. So now it is your turn to tell me your favorite thing that you learned about Diego today. If you need any help, you can use this sentence that I left up here for you, and it says, my favorite thing I learned about Diego Rivera was, hmm. Remember, your favorite thing can be an artwork that he created, like the paintings with the lilies or his murals all over the world, or it can even be something about his life, like his childhood or his art career. Also, remember that your responses should go to one of these places. Remember that if you are from Ms. Jensen's class, you always have your art showroom Flipgrid to use. That is going awesome, scholars, so I can't wait to see Ms. Jensen's responses there. You can also use Class Dojo friends to post a response. On Class Dojo, you can do video responses and picture responses. And if you just want to go ahead and do it in Google Classroom, you can write something in the comments. Okay, scholars, I can't wait to see what your favorite thing was. I'll see you next time.